Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls and Keene, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty. We're here on October the 11th, 2023, getting ready for Flannel Festival and some other stuff. Today's guest is Sephirah Oshkello. She's from Sojourns. She's one of our Sojourn highlights. She's going to be talking a little bit about nutrition and gut health and some other topics. But first, Marty with local events.
Local events. So at the Bellows Falls Opera House this week from the 13th to the 17th is My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. If 1 and 2 weren't enough for you, now you can have 3. Actually, I think they're a pretty popular.
Yeah, they are.
Pretty popular franchise.
Very funny.
The classic movie this Wednesday night is actually very apropos. It's Friday Night Lights.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a true story, and it has, I think, one of the best actors, like character actors out there, Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that is being sponsored by Coda and Coda. Happening on the 21st. Which is next week, but I want to make sure people know that it's happening. The Bellows Falls Bike Project is having a kickoff to their fundraising campaign. They want to buy the building, so they're having a soiree. A soiree. And it is happening at the Moose Club. It is Saturday, October 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Moose Family Center. You can enjoy the music of Swing Low. There'll be a silent auction, and tickets are $50 per person. And it is, I know that sounds like a lot, but space is limited to 100 tickets available. But it's a fundraiser. They're looking to raise money, so therefore tickets are more expensive than normal. This weekend, another fundraiser, a fundraiser that helps keep the chamber going and provides a fun thing to do for the entire weekend, is the Flannel Festival. So on Saturday, it's 11 to 5. On Sunday, it's 11 to 4. It's at the Rockingham Hill Farm. If you wear flannel, you get $1 off your admission. There's music, there's beer, there's pie.
There's food.
There's food trucks. There's flannel. And
bacon wrapped barbecued pickles.
There you go. There you go. So
going just for that.
The witches will be there. There'll probably be some other impromptu entertainment. So mark your calendar. It's both days. And then it is that time of the year for the Firemen's Parade. Yeah. Happening on Sunday at 1 p.m. They traditionally do the Scoop the Loop parade route here in town. And then they will be, I think, do they have like a reception back at the station, or no? It's just
I
a
don't
parade.
know. Since they have the Memorial Park now, I thought they might be there.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't actually been to the parade in quite a few years because I've been at the Flannel Festival, so I don't get to go. But so that's everything with local events. So let's get on to our discussion.
So our guest today is Sephirah Oshkello. She's a
Sephirah.
Sephirah.
Okay, that was one thing I was going to ask, was how to pronounce that. Sephirah
Oshkello, and she's a nutritionist working for Sojourns. And Sephirah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you want to talk about today?
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the feed. It's really a pleasure to be here. And yes, and my name is Sephirah Oshkello, and I'm a registered dietitian and holistic nutritionist, and I support and guide motivated people towards making lifestyle shifts to support them healing from chronic inflammation, digestive disturbance, blood sugar imbalances, and emotional eating. And I've been doing this work for over 20 years. And today I'm excited to come and talk to you a little bit about gut health. And Sojourns kind of sent me to help feature a virtual gut health summit that they are going to be part of at the end of November. And at the end of this month, they'll be starting to have some registration about it. And our executive director, Sarah Allen, is going to be leading a talk on stress and digestive health. So I am excited to share a little bit with you about gut health and how it impacts so many different areas of our life. And in addition, I will also be leading a online anti-inflammatory reset at the end of this month that also is connected to gut health.
Nice. So I know that, first of all, I bet a lot of people recognize you, Sephirah, because you did work at Springfield Hospital for a while. And that's how we first connected. I was reminding Mike that we filmed a cooking class that you were doing a very long time ago. Yeah.
Yes, I remember, yes.
And so,
yes.
And I've worked with you personally since then. So I'm thrilled that we're talking about gut health, because why is gut health so important? And it seems like it's overlooked a lot, but why is gut health so important?
Okay, yes. And I just want to first touch on the fact that, I used to live in the area, and I worked for Sojourns for 10 years. And at that time also worked for Springfield Hospital and brought cooking classes to Springfield Hospital. And it was really fun. What is it called? The Black River, who sells all the produce. Mm-hmm. They would donate the produce, and I would walk into the hospital with a basket of fresh vegetables and have hands-on cooking classes, which is always really fun way to, to teach people about health by cooking and having the hands-on experience of it. And then I moved up north and in the Montpelier area. And since now that telehealth is a thing, I'm excited that I can be back at Sojourns working with people on nutritional changes. And so, yes, so our everything we eat, right, goes through our gut, and then our body has all of the blood vessels to take that nutrition from our gut to disperse it to the rest of our body. So if our gut is not functioning well, then every other system in our body can also not be functioning well. And so more and more research is linking the gut to the brain and to all the different areas of the body. And so we really want to help have that environment in our gut be the most healthy so that we can absorb the most amount of nutrition and also avoid having reactions. I'm going to show you in a little bit about those reactions, but that if we're have toxins that are then getting into our bloodstream, then our body can react in multiple ways.
So what are the main factors that affect gut health? I mean, is it internal, or is it like what you put in, or it sounds like it's an intricate problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are so many different things that can affect the health of our gut. And of course, stress being a big aspect of that. And, one of the things that is really interesting to me is that if we are stressed, or even we're just in our autonomic nervous system, which is the part of our nervous system that helps us to function and do the things in the world, then our digestion is turned off. And so we really need to be in our parasympathetic nervous system, in our relaxed state, in order for food to digest effectively in our body. And so, I find most people I talk to in this culture, we're very focused on getting our work done during the day. And so it's hard to kind of stop and eat. And so if we're doing our work and going about our day and just eating in between and in this kind of either stressed or getting things done mode, then our body is not digesting well. And then also there are a lot of things that can impact the health and the cells of our digestive tract. And so sometimes, that could be some medications that we're taking and overuse of antibiotics, then that can mess with the flora in our gut. Pesticides and different toxic chemicals can mess with what's happening in our gut. And then also food sensitivities. And a lot of people don't recognize when they are having food sensitivities, and that is injuring the gut as well. And, one of the things that I love to do is to identify with people around what the foods that they are sensitive to, so that can then allow the gut to heal.
So what are some symptoms? How would someone know they were sensitive, like about food sensitivities?
Yeah. So, it's pretty remarkable to me, the whole gamut of disease and discomfort that can be connected to food sensitivities. And, I've been doing this work for over 20 years, and it never ceases to amaze me how people can get better by taking out just a few foods from their diet. And so it can be from anywhere from, what we think of as seasonal allergies, to hives, to autoimmune disease, to digestive disturbance, even joint pain. There's a wide array of what can be giving people a problem.
And so do you find that oftentimes when people present perhaps to their healthcare practitioner these symptoms, that they don't always immediately think of food sensitivity, or is it becoming more the norm now? Because I think for a while it was I don't know, a mystery, but that wasn't the immediate, well, maybe you can try this. How about, taking out dairy or taking out, so they'd give you a medication. So are you finding that shifted a little bit?
It depends. Like, yes, in the holistic world, I think more and more people are becoming familiar with that. However, in conventional medicine, that is not the way. And I think most doctors think it's woo-woo. So, I have a few stories. I have a lot of stories, but like some of my favorite top ones, is a woman who had really severe back pain and went to the back surgeon. She was really considering having back surgery. And the doctor said, there's all this physical problems, and he wasn't even sure if the surgery could help. So then she came to me and said, okay, well, now I'm ready to try this anti-inflammatory reset and look at what kind of foods are bothering me. And so she did that, and remarkably, her back pain went away. Wow. And she found what the culprit was for her, because I think that's really important to note also, is that what is inflammatory for one person is not necessarily what's inflammatory for another person. And so we have to do that detective work to figure out what it is for each person. And I have, a few different protocols that we can lean back on as we're doing this detective work to figure out how to get that gut back into balance and to put your symptoms at bay.
Did you want to get into the actual kind of nuts and bolts of the gut right now? You have an image that do you want to do that now?
Sure. Sure. And,
so the image is up.
The image is up. Okay,
yep.
Great. Great. So, what I want to just share, and I know you can't see the words of this image, and, I wrote my thesis 25 years ago on leaky gut and intestinal permeability, and it's been getting more and more familiarity lately. And so this picture is showing us a little bit of what's happening with the leaky gut and some of the damage that can happen. And so if you're looking on the right side where it says inflammation, right, and we see some pills and toxins, and there's a lot of toxins in our environment these days. And so over time, what can happen is some of these things, as well as the stress and the other things that we said that can impact our GI tract, is eating away at this mucosal membrane that is protective. So you can see on the other side, this says mucosal membrane, and it has these straight lines that are coming out of it, and those are the microcilli that help the vitamins to absorb. And that's what we see. If you can see, like it says C, D, calcium, right? That's helping to absorb all of the nutrients and to protect us from keeping out the toxins and the things that may be a problem. But when we have high stress or high antibiotics or other medications, then those things start to eat away at that protective membrane. And so what we see on the other side where there's inflammation is that we don't have those microcilli to protect us. We're not able to absorb the nutrients now as well. And what you can see with that, where that blue arrow is going through, is that we also have spaces, right? Thus leaky gut, spaces in our gut where now the toxins can get through, and the red piece on the bottom is our bloodstream. And so now those toxins are getting into our bloodstream. As opposed on the other side here, those junctures are really close together and touching each other. And so things that are not supposed to get into our bloodstream and those toxins that we want to keep out are able to filter out. And with the leaky gut, that is less able to happen. And so in the picture, you can see there's like a green bug and a purple bug, and then that's getting into our bloodstream. And when that is then in our bloodstream, the body then is like, there's something foreign here. And so it starts to overreact and has a very strong immune response. And then that immune response can lead to, whether it is you're sneezing all of the time, or your stomach hurts you, or you have that back pain or autoimmune disease reaction. And so the idea is we want to really heal this gut. And with the food sensitivities, you can kind of see in this picture, whereas when you're eating a food that you're sensitive to, it's ripping away at that mucosal membrane again. And so you keep injuring it. And I like to think of it as if you have a scab on your hand and it's starting to heal, but then you keep kind of hitting it against something, then it opens up and it has a harder time healing. And that's the same thing with the gut. And so that the food sensitivities and, some of the other toxins and things that we want, where it keeps aggravating it. So we want to try and put in there foods that are not going to aggravate it, and then also to rebalance the gut so that you have the good bacteria. And, I think probiotics have been getting a lot of airtime lately. And so we want to send in those good bacteria so that we can counteract the bad bacteria that are getting out of balance. And that's a big piece of balancing our gut as well.
How long does the process take if you're trying to, you have leaky gut, you've taken certain foods out, you've maybe identified the foods. How long does it take? Can it be fully repaired, or?
It can be fully repaired. And I like to say it could take between 3 months and 3 years. And so it takes time, and it takes persistence and patience and and willpower. And I think one of the things that I find is that people start feeling better within, 2 or 3 weeks. So that is motivating to keep it up, but it really takes time to repair these junctures. And there's lots of other things that we can do to repair the junctures and the membrane so that you get back to good health. And because the thing is, so we talked about the toxins coming through, but also then sometimes foods are getting digested and not fully broken down. And then they're in a form that the body doesn't really recognize as what it wants to be having. And so that causes that overreaction. And so it can, it can take time to repair those junctures so that the foods that are the body is going alarmed about are not getting into the bloodstream.
I just want to
go ahead.
So what you're talking about now and everything that you're sharing with us, is this something that someone might learn if they were to take your if they were to sign up for the anti-inflammatory reset?
Yes, absolutely. And you could take I don't know if they've taken
they took the images down. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. What we talk about basically a basic elimination diet and ways to decrease inflammation in our body, and also talking about the stress aspect of things and ways to rebuild the gut. And so it's a 6-week class. So the beginning part is getting the foods out of our system. And then the second part is about doing the slow reintroduction, because like I said before, not everyone is sensitive to the same foods, and the same foods causing inflammation for them. So we do this slow reintroduction phase to detect what it is that is impacting different people. And, the other piece I want to just add about is like this bucket effect, is that like different things add up on our bucket, and that until we're then reacting and having symptoms. And so, there's certain things that we can't control, right? But food can be one of them. So if we can reduce the inflammation from the food that we're eating, if we can learn some stress management techniques to decrease the level of inflammation, so then we come to a place where we're not reacting as much. Whereas like seasonal allergies for pollen, or this time of year in the fall with mold, you can't really affect your environment as much. I mean, you can do things in your home so you don't have mold there. But the leaves that are around can cause problems for people. And so then that's causing this level of overreaction. So then during that season, if you're reacting, with runny nose or whatever it might be, we might then can to look at the food and then take down that reaction so that, so then you're not reacting. So, and I really love to, work at Sojourns and partner with the other practitioners there, because then a lot of the practitioners at Sojourns are recommending dietary and lifestyle changes, and I can support people in making those changes, because we all know that it's not easy, and knowledge doesn't necessarily equate to action. And so having support and guidance can really help. And then the practitioners at Sojourns can more focus on the supplements and medicine piece that go along with it.
Do we know how food sensitivities develop? Is it genetic? Are you born with a food sensitivity? Or is it something that you grow into?
So some people are born with that, right? Like we see babies who are put on formula, and if the formula, has dairy in it, they might react to it right away. But more often than not, people become more reactive over time. And, with that picture of the intestinal permeability and leaky gut, you can see how, you may have had a really healthy gut, and then certain stressors or medications or chemicals that you were had focused on that impacted you, that all of those things can be then impacting the overall health of your gut and getting the bacteria in the wrong balance, and then you're becoming more sensitive to everything. And that can happen over time. And so for sure it's over time. And also usually what we eat, where we're eating all of the time, then that's a thing that we can build up a sensitivity to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I also want to name that, our food systems have been impacted in great ways. And so, wheat is a really common food sensitivity, and that is probably because the way the wheat has been hybridized to such an effect in this country that that wheat doesn't even look like wheat that we ate 2,000 years ago. So it's a totally different thing that our digestive tract is not as familiar with and can be causing damage.
Oh, we have about 2 minutes left, and I wanted to go back and talk a little bit about your programs that you're going to be doing so that people can access them. So if you could help us with that.
Great. I can't believe how quickly the time goes by.
It does. It always does. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And I also just want to put a plug for everyone that doing some kind of stress management technique, like the simplest one is like a boxed breathing technique that people can access free videos on YouTube around, that can be really helpful to just kind of take a few deep breaths before you eat so that you can prepare your digestion for breaking food down. And that, so I think that's a really tangible thing that your listeners can take away. Get these before you start.
We have the contact information up for Sojourns, but if someone wants to do the anti-inflammatory reset, what are the dates on that, and how does that work? We have about a minute, Stacy.
Okay, great. The anti-inflammatory reset starts on October 26th, which is a Thursday evening. We'll meet at 7:00 in the evenings on Zoom. And I'm not sure if you have the link there for where you can sign up through Sojourns.
Sojourns,
It was
Sojourns.org.
up. Now it's up again. Go ahead.
Yep.
Because I had it up. Let me just pull it up for a second. It's sojourns.org/class and then anti-inflammatory reset. So you can sign up there, and we'll start in just a few weeks. And so we'll meet every Thursday for 6 weeks. And what's really great about it is I only allow a maximum of 12 people in the class. So everyone gets individual coaching time with it. And we're setting up a community network of support. And so many people do the anti-inflammatory reset with me over and over again because they know how to do it, but they just need the support and the guidance in order to do it. And so that community support is really essential.
Awesome.
Sephirah, thank you for coming on. That's about all the time we have. We're going to be saying goodbye. I'd like to talk with you after if we can, and then but.
The show's the show. We're out on the show.
Over.
But
all right, bye, community.
Bye. Great.
Local news, politics, business.